What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dice Monday podcast marathon edition. We are here in the mecca of running, Battersea Park, baby. And today's guest, Jamie Monk. Jamie Monk, welcome back to Dice Monday podcast. Remember, this is conversational, hey?
Okay.
I can already see you leaping away. Thank you so much for coming on again. Let's start.
It's round two.
Round two. As we said earlier.
I thought I'd have got the call back.
Yeah, you say you B-list, but you're probably going to be the most technical guest on this series.
Thank you. I do hope so. I'll try.
Tell us a little bit about your running background before we get into it.
Yeah, sure. So I feel like I've been running just forever. It's always been like my main sport.
Yeah.
So started really young, did a lot of like school, did some track, and then went to uni and studied sports science. Where are we okay pace?
Slow
dropping
down just a little
310s in a minute.
Yeah.
And as part of like my studies, I did a lot of like people's research things and experimentation, and so got to really have access to like in-depth sports science analysis and training and performance. And then I did a master's in sport physiology, mainly so I could carry on doing it and then train even more.
I mean, you loved it. It was...
Yeah, like for me it was like a cheat code, you know, like I was doing altitude training and heat training and different exposures and learning about biomechanics and stuff like that. So yeah, overall I guess been running like 20 years, so done everything from track distances to back-to-back like ultra stuff, which don't do that.
You've pulled away from the long distance stuff.
Yeah, to be honest, I've always loved, like, I really like the physiology of running, so for me pace is what I enjoy more. So 5k, 10k, maybe up to half marathons.
Yeah.
Obviously marathons too, because...
So when did you run your last marathon? And what time was it?
Yeah, like I haven't run any PBs, just for context, for like 10 years.
Okay.
Because I have stopped training at that level.
Yeah, you were elite back then. I mean, you ran with Mo Farah and all the boys.
Yeah, like I think it's interesting, like honestly, I think people's times now are so good. Like my PBs and the times I've run versus what people are doing today, they're just like everyday runners. It's insane.
Well, you didn't have the alpha flies.
No, I know. Although I'm cheat coding everything I can these days. So I think like the times that I've run have been fine, but actually everyone's just, the baseline level of good runners is so high. But yeah, I think I've done a marathon every year, but the way that I do them now is really different. Like I love like pacing people, so I think the last 5 or 6 years I've done the London Marathon, but I paced different people along the way. I really tried to get the most out of them. So yeah, I love getting people through them, and if they've got a goal, I'm like so fixated on making it happen. 100%. And I'll like shield them from wind, and I'll get them eating at the right times, getting them speaking the right ways. And
well, this is interesting because that's what we're going to dive into, what people should be doing. Okay. But before we get into that, I just want to say that he did run a 5k with me once.
I did.
We did a sub 21. Next target will be sub 20.
Needs to be.
I mean, so it's quite nice that you're sharing all your expertise, knowledge with other people now. You're giving to the rest of the world, basically.
Well, yeah, I'm such a good
Sorry, there's a small community in London.
But I think that like, although the people are doing so well and doing such amazing things, realistically, in the grand scheme of things, haven't actually been running for that long.
Yeah.
So I feel like I've just got lots of different backgrounds, and like the track side of things has always been super helpful, like in looking at form and drills and rhythm and stuff like that, like all stuff that I think are massively underrated.
Well, do you think we don't get access to that sort of information? So now on social media, you have a lot of influencer runners, but they're very much not everyday runners. Some of them can be quite good at running, but you don't get the technique, the specifics from that sort of content.
Yeah, I think as well, like, but it's so underrated that running is like a skill-based sport, like, because lots of people are able to, you just go out for a run, and it's so accessible, so you can just do more and more and more and more, and ultimately you can achieve great things and you get success really early often. But I love looking at people run with really good form, like, and when you've got that, I think it gives you longevity and enjoyment, and then your ceiling actually is way higher. But it depends, because you can get to a really high point by not having those things.
Well, you know, people talk about just run more, so volume over everything else. I mean, is that something you would agree with?
I feel like it really depends on what you want to achieve. Like, run more but run better. Like, I think you've got to sort out how you're running, and that will enable you to run more. And again, you can run more, but if you've got issues or misalignments or form problems, that's exacerbated when you run more and more and more.
But this is so interesting, because how does an everyday runner and the people listening better their form without looking and feeling something to replicate?
I'm like massive on feel as well. I think work on it. Like, I don't see many people that actually will. I'm such a loser, but I would, if we go to the park to do a session, I'm there for half an hour.
What'd you say?
I'm never in the pub. In the park, and I'm doing like activations and I'm doing drills for ages. Like, often my pre-routine is longer than my running sessions.
So where do you find those drills?
Do you want me to show you?
Sure.
Okay.
Shall we do it?
Yeah. But a lot of it's from track, to be honest with you.
Right.
But it's nothing new. It's nothing that isn't known.
Yeah.
It's very standard stuff, but it's about doing them on repeat. So I'm massive about rhythm and feel.
Okay.
So it's probably not going to be very technical. I'm not going to be like, do this, but I would start again with just like activating in the right way. So thinking about like a high skip. So now at the moment, what I'm doing is I'm feeling when I'm landing. So I'm feeling my feet.
Where do you want to land?
So probably like front midfoot.
Right.
And again, like here, I'm just trying to get that stiffness in my Achilles and trying to get that bounce, that pop, that rhythm. It's going to be a bit cheesy, but like, you actually do want to feel like
I do feel the pop.
loose, yeah. And like everything that I do is all about like the bounce. So if we would start, I'm literally just bopping along, some side step sort of stuff.
But how is that improving? So is your body automatically going to feel that and then place that into the run?
Yeah, like if you imagine I'm activating actually at the same time all of the ligaments, the tendons and the joints and the muscles in the right way. So calf being a massive thing, and I have a lot of problems with my soleus because I do run quite heavy on my toe. So I'm just trying to get all of those things sort of warmed up. And then from there, hips, we've obviously spoken about a little bit with you before. I'd probably move up the chain. So again, I'm getting that bounce, and then I'd probably just bring a knee up.
Yeah.
And then the other one, and again, like thinking of alignment, like how are my arms moving? Am I popping my leg back? Same on the other side. And then again, you can do some side stuff, so you're opening and closing things up, just that when you're moving, when you start running, you're actually going to be like opening up properly rather than just being stiff. Like, you want to be able to move really freely.
Yeah, interesting.
And then, how's your A-skips? Classic question.
A-skips.
You know those?
What are A-skips?
So you're basically bouncing up and down, and then you pop one leg up and then the other one. So you're touching them both down at the same time. Nice. Now try and move your arms. You look like those like jig dancers. So you want to be like moving your arms at the same time? Ooh. Stiff.
Feels weird, yeah.
There you go. So like rhythm, again, like you want to be loose. But
so rhythm's important. I've heard you speak about that before.
Massively. I think so anyway. Like if you can get into that bounce and that stride and that kind of consistent feeling, then you're just like a metronome. So doing all of those sorts of things, that means that when you do start running, you're just going to be able to feel
looser and get that sort of bounce.
Yeah.
That's so interesting, because no one's doing that. When do you come to Batty P and see see people actually like doing that before a run?
Yeah,
unless you're in the elite and you actually understand what's going on.
That is because you look painfully uncool like me. Like, if people are doing important. That, it honestly like makes such a big difference. And it's a bit like weight training. Like you don't go into the gym, and I'm not saying people don't warm up, but you don't go into the gym and say, I'm gonna do bench press today. I'll start with just bench press and I'll go quite early on into my working reps and sets. Like, you want to warm up the joints, you want to warm up in the different angles and ranges of motion, activate in the right ways, and then you build up from there. Right. So it's exactly the same as that.
So this is a good segue into like a lot of people getting injured at the moment. A lot of people follow AI training, whether it's ChatGPT or Runner.
Yeah.
Is that what people are getting wrong? Is it the warm up? Is it the volume?
Yeah, like I think people often say to me like, you love running. I do love running, but that's because when I run I feel really good.
Yeah.
And it isn't a massive painful slog just to get through the paces and the distances. Like, if you're running well, you're actually able to achieve your training and your goals pretty easily.
Yeah.
So I think it's a balance. Like, all of these different tools and things are perfect, but I don't think they should probably be taken on their own.
Okay.
Like, every run should start in the right way, and that isn't through running, it's through stretching, mobilizing, activating.
Yeah.
And only then would you then do your session. So I think the chat about like different ways that people train or different programs and stuff is fine. Like, it's about accessibility.
It's good to have diversity as well.
Yeah, like a cheap solution, which may be AI built, is really good.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to get people through the door as well, get the discipline of running 3 to 4 times a week. So that I understand. My theory is no one's doing the strength sessions because then no one's there to hold them accountable.
Yeah.
ChatGPT isn't going to ring you up and say, where's your squats?
It might. I'm
Soon,
about it, yeah.
But I think because strength has worked so much for me,
Yeah.
it's like unbelievably changed my ability.
Yeah.
And I think people skip that and then they get injured.
And if you think about the marathon, I think it's a lot about durability rather than just fitness. Like any marathon that I've done, I haven't failed in all of them, but loads of them.
Yeah.
Has been because my body has just ached, or neuromuscularly it's not right, or physiologically like the muscle damage is just too intense, and it's pain which then affects my form, which then affects my mind, and that's where it all goes wrong.
Yeah.
Actually, to hold my threshold, I'm pretty good at.
Okay.
It's actually holding a threshold under fatigue. So when people train, often if you're doing your long run, say you're doing 32k on your longest runs, the first 20k, you want to feel as good as possible.
Yeah.
The work really starts is when you're tired.
Yeah.
How are you able to maintain that? And that's where the other forms of training are super helpful come in.
Right. Because this is interesting. We spoke about it with James yesterday. You don't train the last 12 kilometers. Why?
See, I actually would.
Would you run a
I wouldn't train
marathon?
that far, but I think you could go up to 36.
But why wouldn't you put yourselves in that dark situation to learn how you feel mentally, physically?
Yeah. And also, like when you're getting up to that distance, like when you look at how psychologically people want to break down a marathon, there's obviously different ways.
Yeah.
Like I would say the last 4 or 5k, you have to break that down into 1k blocks, because at that point,
Similar to how you would run a 5k.
far. Yeah, it's miles. Like people, cheering on the side at 38k, they're like, you're nearly there. 4k away, like that's miles. So I'm like, nah, shut up. It's 20 minutes left of this thing. But I do think that, like, if you are able to really think about how you're approaching it, that makes a massive difference.
So what would the perfect race be for you? Would you do a negative split? Would you hold the same pace?
I only dream of a negative split.
Really? Okay.
But again, because I know
I
what my
did a
limiting
half
factors
marathon the
are.
other day, negative split. Nailed it, so happy.
Yeah, that's a half.
Okay.
You gotta do the other half.
So I've never done a marathon, so this is why I'm trying to...
Well, I think it definitely depends on what kind of athlete you are. Like for me, knowing what my limiting factors are, you should just go out hard early and hold on.
Should I do the opposite of a negative split?
Yeah, just 110 the first half and then just cling on.
Lead the marathon.
Yeah, correct. I think to me, like even pacing, like
is that better?
One thing I would say is in a marathon in particular, when it goes wrong, it's often an accumulation of little errors. So what I would say you want to do, like I'd always say to people, if you feel good, don't change anything.
Yep.
Like cling on to that feeling.
Marathon.
Yeah, feel good for as long as you can, because at one point you're not going to.
Don't try to go faster because you're feeling good.
Like 15k and think, I feel alright, I'll push it.
Yeah.
You've still got like 27k left. So feel good for as long as you can, be as steady for as long as you can.
Right.
And then maybe, but I think a massively underrated part of running times is pacing.
Okay.
You'll see people when they start running and they'll do a 10k say, and then 2 months later they'll knock 2 minutes off.
Yeah.
It could be fitness, but the chances are they've just paced it better. And actually, if you can really work on your pacing, and again, knowing what your physiological limits are.
So how do you work on pacing?
So I do think some underlying data could be quite helpful. So it doesn't mean you need to go to a lab and get tested.
Yeah.
But knowing, if you were to do some sort of physiological test, so you could even do that on a treadmill, and you could start at one pace, and every 3 minutes you up the pace by a kilometre, you track your heart rate throughout.
Right.
What you're looking for is kind of these jumps in your heart rate, so you're going to have a steady incline.
Right.
But then what you have is sort of like a more exponential or more acute angle of increase.
Yep.
And that could probably be your first threshold, which is where your marathon pace is. And then you have a second one, which is where like your 5k, 10k pace is.
I'm glad you brought up treadmills.
Yeah.
Is it an underestimated asset?
Yeah, especially when it's
for
raining.
those type of
yeah,
things.
it's crap. I would say that it's really, really good for being specific.
Okay.
Obviously, it lacks a little bit of
Feel.
yeah, and like you don't get the feeling of the road under you or the conditions.
Yeah.
But actually, do you know if you go to like a commercial gym, you've got your standard treadmills, then you've got like the Woodway ones.
Yeah, the ones
like
that
slatted.
Yeah.
No one uses them, but they're way better.
Really? But I think they're quite intimidating.
They're absolute monsters. Yeah. Like I think it's more about obviously a treadmill. I think is great for working on your upper limits and
Yeah.
your threshold stuff, because you can be super specific and you can control everything. But also, what it doesn't have is it obviously doesn't produce that like eccentric load on your muscles, which
Right.
is what I was talking about earlier, is going to be one of the things that's going to be the biggest problems later on.
Yeah.
So use it in the right way, 100%. But I feel great on a treadmill, and that doesn't mean I always replicate that running outside.
I mean, I feel great coming off a treadmill. So if I do a treadmill session the day before a road session,
Yeah,
I feel a lot more loose.
yeah,
Is that
that's great. Yeah,
because treadmill, you're kind of running at a pace perfectly, so your legs are getting synced
Yeah.
into the rhythm.
it's a really good way to work on form as well, because you can
Yeah.
be much more conscious and much more considered in what you're doing and how you're running. But I also think it's probably a good tool to use if you're looking to increase your sort of upper limits, your max limits.
Yeah.
Because then when you come down to a percentage of that, which you run a longer distance at, you've actually got a higher ceiling. So again, it's a really good controlled way to make things better. And yeah, use it in the right way, brilliant. But
Okay.
I wouldn't be saying my PBs are this and how did you do it? I just
Treadmill.
whacked the treadmill, clung on.
I want to go back to form because you've told me once that I'm quite low-ended. Again, I'm struggling to figure out, do I watch a YouTube video and how to get my leg up and kick back more? Like,
Yeah,
where do you get that information as an everyday runner?
I think it's,
Or do you have to get a running coach?
I don't think so. I think you can, I watch a lot of people, and I know
Right.
like you need to know what you're watching for.
Yeah.
There are some quite simple things. So like, what's the angle of your body versus what's the angle of your hip? So are you running like this, which is you want to be in a forward position, but you want that to come from your ankle rather than your upper body. Think about your knees. You want them to drive through an invisible line in front of you first.
Right.
And then from behind, you want to make sure that your heel is driving up and then kicking through. So there's a few things that are really simple. And then, like we were saying as well earlier, like having a nice upright core, not sitting on your coccyx too much.
Yeah.
And then your arms not crossing the midline, 90 degrees each. And then super relaxed. Like, I honestly love running around and watching other people. If you want a good form, my favourite like athlete
Right.
running form, I reckon is like Paul Chelimo. Do you know him?
No.
Just watch his videos. Like,
Okay.
his form is
But then you come
So
out
good.
to Battersea and you kind of just try and replicate it a little bit.
I think
Thinking
like
in your head.
the strength side comes into it as well, and
Yeah.
the drills, because that gets your movement patterns right, and then get people to watch, film some stuff.
Yeah.
Because actually, when you become fatigued as well, chances are you're going to slip back into
The old
habits,
yeah.
and it's really, really hard. So over time and through replication and consistently doing those other things, you can probably shift, and you might have like neuromuscular imbalances and things like that, which
Yeah.
you do need to work on in the gym and stuff and activate. But yeah, like think of it much more as a technique sport.
Yeah.
Spend time on it.
I think that's what people miss. You know, they just see running volume. I can get faster by just doing
Yeah.
more and more and more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I think is why all these people are getting injured.
Yeah, and I think like,
Garbage miles, they call it.
but the times people are doing are nuts.
Yeah, so what do you think that is? The new age?
You know, it upsets me though.
But I think it's just people running more.
Can't do it.
It's an endurance epidemic.
There's, yeah, like I think it's
I mean,
a
you
great
go to a
thing.
park run and there are 50,000 people.
We'll drop a 310 and then burn him off. I think that, yeah, there's obviously more people doing it, more people training together. There is more knowledge out there for sure.
Yeah.
I think what people are really good at is understanding how to structure their training and what sessions they should be doing and what the format is and the weekly mileage. And
So if you gave me a week, perfect week for training for a marathon,
Yeah.
we don't have to focus on mileage because I know that depends very much on, is it your first year running, is it your fourth year running?
yeah,
But what would a perfect week be
so
for a marathon training block?
if you just looked at a template, I would say you want to have, if you start the most obvious thing, like you want to have your long run, which is progressive, and it'd make that periodized. So you probably go up in distance every 3 weeks and
Yeah.
then down again for the next 4, so you've got that recovery. So you'd have a long run. I'd probably have a tempo run, which is working on that threshold stuff, so session anywhere from 25 to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Interval session, again, like really good for form, really good for technique work, making sure that you're increasing that ceiling. Also, I think it makes you feel really good.
Yeah.
And then you might have like a recovery run as well, if you wanted to, so that you can just like that longer distance, steady state, zone 1, zone 2.
Yeah.
Again, just to build that like movement pattern, neuromuscular side of things.
Well, I have that the
durability.
day before the long run.
You have
like
your
a
long
shake
slow.
out.
Yeah.
It's zone 1.
Yeah, like the point, I think, you know, if you're looking at a training block, if you're tired, it doesn't mean you're training well. So freshness is super important.
Oh, that's so interesting. I'm always going to my coach saying I can do more.
Yeah, but I think he's probably saying let's do it well.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm definitely...
I didn't hear any cross training in there though.
This is the thing though. That's 4 sessions. That's probably enough for most people. Then ideally, you probably want to add on
A cheeky bike.
I would do like bike or cross trainer for another one, and that could, and what you can do actually in certain weeks, depending on how your body is maybe your tempo session you would change for a bike session.
Right.
You can do exactly the same format. So say tempo, we did 3 times 12-minute blocks, and within those 12-minute blocks you might have 6-minute at one pace,
Right.
6-minute at another. You could do that on a bike.
Okay.
You could use your heart rate. You could use
Yeah,
your
because you're kind of
power.
replicating the same sort of
Yeah.
threshold training session,
Yeah.
but less impact on your legs.
Yeah, exactly, and it takes the load off, but also you want to be doing some sort of strength training, some sort of mobility.
Yeah, mobility is big. I don't do
Pilates.
enough mobility. I think. Pilates.
Pilates,
How important is Pilates?
it's the only thing. It's the only thing that matters.
Don't you run a Pilates? What's it
Yeah,
called?
we have
Quick plug.
LB Pilates. It's honestly best in the business.
Check it out.
Unbelievable.
100%. Changes your running.
Yeah, that's the
All
only
the
thing I do. I do think like where that's good is it forces your body into different positions,
Right.
and it makes you stronger in those positions. So it's not looking at the big primer muscles, it's not looking at your
Yes.
quads, it's looking at the connective ones or the more stabilizing muscles, which again, when you're getting fatigued, that's the stuff that will make a
Most
difference.
important. Because I've been in the gym with the strength training and had to lean over with a kettlebell and just balance
Yeah.
on one foot.
Yeah,
And I can feel it in my calf.
yeah. Well, even like your Achilles, say, a lot of the work there is done just with a hold.
Yeah.
And loading up the muscle through the Achilles, and yeah, I just think that you don't always have to work the muscles in the same way.
Yes.
And if you're almost looking at where your form's coming from, it's not just the legs. Like your upper body does matter too, your core certainly matters. So it's kind of making sure that when you are running, you're feeling like there's nothing blocking you able to run well.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, then actually, again, there's levels, right? If you want to run serious, 210, 220, you're going to have to do 100-mile weeks minimum.
Yeah.
But that's a full-time
100
job.
mile. Yeah, exactly. The 100-mile weeks are crazy.
And also, these guys have got like insane durability and form, and they're often physiologically
Yeah.
sort of prepared for that for a long time.
100%. So I want to dive into the next topic. We're going to pull over here under the tree. We're going to talk about nutrition because that's super important. And we wouldn't make this run if we didn't
Oh,
have one
yeah.
of these.
I haven't tried them,
I want your honest opinion as a scientific runner.
Okay, what's in it?
So Himalayan salt and maple syrup.
That's it.
That's it.
I haven't had breakfast.
You can put it on your pancakes or on your toast.
That's unreal.
It's nice, eh?
Yeah. It just tastes like pure, good consistency though.
Jamie, let's break down nutrition.
Okay.
Marathon, not only on marathon day, but
Yeah.
throughout marathon prep. How important is it? What should we be doing?
Yeah, I think like often people will talk about the wall and stuff like that, and like your 32k mark or your 20-mile mark.
Yeah, well, why do people spiral at that mark?
I think I said it earlier, like nutrition is 100% a potential factor,
Yeah.
but it could be an accumulation of so many things. Like that's why the marathon I think is such a mentally tough race to attempt, because you have to be so disciplined.
Do you think it's more mental than physical?
I think that you can't turn up and hope to have a good day if you're mentally good, because physically you can't do it.
Right.
But you can certainly be in the best form of your life and ruin it because you're mentally not in the right place. So I don't think that you can achieve what you want unless you're mentally strong. But at the same time, if I haven't trained, I'm not going to turn up and be like, my mindset is sharp.
Yeah.
And then get it right.
You're
So-
already going to be nervous because you've undertrained.
Yeah, and like honestly, like I focus so hard in a marathon, like thinking constantly either about my own awareness of myself, my form, where am I in the race.
Do you not
what I'm
think
feeling.
that you like burn more energy thinking so much?
It also though helps me concentrate, because I
Right.
think if you just let things go, again, like different people have different ways of doing it, but
Yeah.
it gives me a real focus, and I think it is a hard thing to do, and you're going to be exhausted, so you've got to work hard for it, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
both physically and mentally.
Well, that's why people love the marathons, because you get to go through that mental struggle, and people love to come out the other side.
Yeah, and like if you're in a good place, I'll give you an example. Like we just had some nutrition.
Yeah.
Very nice, by the way. I should be right on it now because I have my energy. I'm not. But I think that when I used to train at higher intensities, our coaches would give us really simple sums to do.
Okay.
So you'd be running at like your tempo or your threshold pace, and they'd be like 9 times 9. I mean, I can barely do that resting, but it's amazing how much your cognitive function reduces. So
9 times 9. 81, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's super interesting. So that's like a little trick. Keep the mind focused.
But also it shows how much your mind is compromised when you are running and when it is tough. So
that was harder for me because I am running.
Yeah. I don't want to comment on your maths, but maybe you can start with like 4 plus 4. It's fine.
Yeah, hey, there you go.
Everyone's got a different level.
Come on.
But yeah, that is definitely something that keeps you aware. And like I say, like self-awareness I think is massive. I talking about pacing people a couple of years ago, I ran with like my best friend, and he did his first one.
Yeah.
And he had trained really well, but obviously again on the day there's so many things that you haven't accounted for and you haven't been aware of, and if you're training, the outcome of not finishing a session is fine.
Yeah.
Like you just stop. Whereas on the day you're like, oh, I actually need to get to the end of this.
Well, that's so interesting that you say, because a lot of people force their way through to finish the training session when maybe they should call it at the right time.
But I think there's, again, going back to the unknown, like you need to know that you can get through it. So he was at 11 miles and he was feeling okay, but he was tired.
Right.
And he was like, I don't feel good. And he had this white sheet panic on his face.
Yeah.
And I was like, but in reality, you've been running for over an hour. You're not going to feel good.
Yeah.
So it's knowing that, and then knowing what do I need to focus on to get to half marathon, 20 miles, 23 miles, then you're probably okay.
Yeah.
But actually knowing that he's going to feel panicked at that point and not
that's
panicking.
through training. Yeah.
Yeah, and like mentally being aware and being like, okay, if I told you to run for an hour, no matter what, it's pretty tough, no matter how fit you are.
Yeah.
So when you compound that and then you think about what you've got to come, you can really like get yourself into a state, and then you might fuel too much, or you might
I've done
pace.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't want to.
Because as soon as you start to either cramp or start to feel like you're hitting the wall, all of a sudden you go like this.
Yeah.
And then you eat too much, and then that counteracts the whole thing.
And that's where like experience can help, or being prepared can help. So like, it's a really nice day. If you were to know that about a time point, that's where it's going to be tough for you.
Yeah.
Have a caffeinated gel rather than a normal one, or stop and have a stretch, or just reset and know that's your hard point. And then you basically just got to, I would always say to people, they've got a time goal, stay in the game for as long as you can, and then there'll be a point which you're like, okay, I'm not going to let it go now.
You get that second win.
Yeah, and it doesn't always come, but stay in the game, just give yourself that chance, slow down the pace but make it still possible, and just stick within it, because if you do get to the last 3k, chances are you probably can push through.
Well, a big mental element that I use when training, I say to myself, right, I don't want to train today.
Yeah.
I'm going to do half.
Yeah.
I go,
and then you do that.
I start to feel good, but once you cross halfway, so you battle it, I got 1 more, 3 more, 2 more, 1 more.
Yeah.
Then you go, right, I got 5 left.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden your brain changes completely.
And like, I don't know if you've thought about this, but how do you break down the distance in your own head? So obviously, the amount of checkpoints, the amount of time points, but for me, so what I would do is sort of do 5k, because I need to figure out what my pace is. So looking at averages rather than per k.
Yeah.
Then I'll do 10k, because obviously again it's a nice milestone. Then I do 16k, because it's 10 miles.
Right.
So to me it's double digit miles. Then the half, and again at the half I'll be like, okay, feel pretty bad. What do I need to do at this point? I need to eat a good amount, and I probably need to focus on getting to 28k. That'll be the next one.
Right.
This is, you're never going to remember this, but this is how I do it.
It's so funny, I pull the face to the camera.
Yeah. Should I just stop?
No.
So I do 28, 32, because that's half marathon.
Yeah.
32 to 36 I know is where it's going to be really tough.
Yeah.
And also if you're doing London, that's a really rough part of the course.
So where do you go? Do you go, Jamie, come on, fuck it, do it? Or do you use gratitude?
I just go like, this is what hard is, and just stay really focused on, just continue, think about your form, think about being really, really calm.
Yeah.
I think as soon as you panic and as soon as you start like beating up yourself, like that can work at times, but again, if you're at 32 or 36k, depending on your pace, you could still have another hour.
Yeah.
It's too early to be going for that sort of thing. So I think you've really got to be disciplined to stay calm just as much as you have to know when to
just believe in what you've done and what you've planned.
Yeah, like
stick to the plan.
You've got to be mentally really solid to do
but then
the job.
For someone that London Marathon, it's my first marathon, big marathon.
Yeah.
I don't want to not finish. Is there a time you should go, I'm hurting myself here?
I've done marathons and I haven't finished them.
Right. But I feel like you're a marathon runner, so the next one's around the corner.
But the reason why I didn't finish is because I wasn't going to get the time I wanted.
Right.
And I don't think that can ever be a reason. I think injury, 100%.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you're unwell, then obviously stop. And it's not, I would never want to undermine anyone's achievement. It doesn't, it's the best part about a marathon is you turn up on the start line, you've done the work, you put yourself in the arena. That's brave. Like, doing the thing is brave. If you don't make it, that's fine.
A lot of people don't run marathons.
Yeah, like it's still what,
It's an
1%
achievement
of the
being
world,
on the
isn't it?
start line, yeah.
Yeah. So I think, but at the same time, what I don't think is a good way personally that you'll feel about yourself is if you just gave up and you just thought, haven't got my time.
It'll be tough. Yeah.
It's really hard. Like, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
So it's a good sort of
It's
way to
coming out
figure
that other side that really is the eudaimonia that you get from it.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like, I train on my own most of the time.
Yeah.
Because I just care about what I do. If you said to me, what's your fastest 5k now? All I can tell you is how hard I'm going to work, and then the time will be a massive byproduct and output of that. So I'm not going to say I want to run 14 minutes because I won't, and then I'll just be disappointed. But if I know that I've run well, and I know that I've approached it right, and I know that I've trained well, then at that moment in time, that's going to be the outcome.
You got to run within yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you had one pro tip for my first marathon coming up, what would it be?
So you're talking about on the day?
On the day.
Okay. I would say that run clean, and I mean that mentally and physically.
Yeah.
So really work on your mind, really think about how you're approaching each part. When you have a gel or have a water, wash your hands at the same time. Like, run clean in every way. You want to look good, you want to feel good, you want to be really, really mentally disciplined, and just also like try and block out the worst thing for me about London Marathon Day is the train on the way there.
Yeah.
Like, the nervous energy is horrible. It's
but that's why your heart rate
feeling.
rises at the start of the race, and then you go too fast.
So you've got to be completely locked in on what you're doing, how you're doing it, how you feel.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, that's the goal. I think that's the effort. You're physically going to be there.
Yeah.
It's actually mentally how you do it as well.
I love that. Jamie, thank you so much. That was amazing.
You'll be great.
Enjoy
it. Thanks, sir. Good day.
Right, guys, end of the episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to find Jamie Monk's fantastic training regime, at Jamie Monk on Instagram.
And if you like that and want to see more, like and subscribe and comment.
At Dice Last Monday Pod.
You!